Mentor Secretary Carlito Galvez. Naustab si NTF against COVID-19 Chairperson Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, IATF Chairperson Secretary Francisco Duque III, and NTF against COVID-19 Vice Chairperson Secretary Eduardo Anyo. O karon mga sir, atong basahon ang mga pangutana sa atong mga kauban sa prensa. Magsugod kita sa pangutana ni Sir Froilan Gallardo gikan sa Minda News. Unang tanong po sir, bakit hindi pa pwedeng mabakunahan ang A4 in Cagayan de Oro City when other cities are already inoculating their A4? Who decides the number of vaccines to be delivered to Cagayan de Oro City every day? At sino daw po ang nagde-decide on how many vaccines are given to each bakuna center? And lastly po, who decides on what category will be vaccinated in the city?
Director Boy, can you please respond to that because you have the more granular data? Number one question is, why is A4 not yet being vaccinated? They have been. You've started.
Yes, we have. There is already a directive that they will start the A4. Only that, as you suggest, una muna yung 40 to 59. Yung A4 po. By the way, I'd like to inform that the military of Cagayan de Oro City and Hingoog City, who is in charge of the border control, sir, are allocated immunization na po, yung vaccine, sir.
Yes. Another question po, sir, coming from Sir Froilan Gallardo again. Can we have the list of vaccines most preferred by Cagayan de Oro residents because he heard that Sputnik was rejected? RD?
Ano natin na yun ang directive ni presidente na dapat hindi tayo tatawag na brand na conscious kasi tututusin based dun sa sa deliberation ng FDA. Talagang mayroong equal protecting lahat yung mga vaccines, may mga character sila na yung lahat na yun talagang nakikita natin na they prevented death at saka they prevented also hospitalization. So, ang natin, kung magkaroon tayo ng isang vaccine lang, na kunyari prepared natin na sabihin natin Pfizer or Sinovac lang, mga darating tayo na sama sa sayang kung mawawala kaagad yung yung prioritization nyo. Alam nyo yung Gamaleya, one shot yan, meron siyang yung component number 1 niya, parang AstraZeneca, you are already protected 80%. Yan ang characteristic niyan. Yan ang hindi alam ng mga tao. At saka 92% yan ang kanyang efficacy. So, ang kagandahan sa Gamaleya is 42 days protected ka na kagad ng 80%. First dose. So, yan ang niya. Yung real world data niya.
Okay, thank you for that, Secretary. Another question po galing kay Beth Sir Mabuang from Dalit TV to Secretary Galvez. What is the basis on the amount of vaccines allocated per local government unit? Do we have statistics that can prove that this specific LGU must be allocated this amount? Per reports daw po, Secretary, millions of vials are already deployed in the region. However, seeing that there are LGUs that are allocated with lesser vaccines compared to others, despite po daw having high COVID positive cases in their area.
Titingnan natin yon. Ang pinaka-primary na consideration natin sa pagde-deploy ng vaccines are, one, kailangan yung tinatawag na yung risk factor. Yung tinatawag na health risk, economic risk, social risk, at saka security risk. And then second, geographical. If that area is potentially very vulnerable, considering that highly urbanized area siya, geographically disadvantaged siya, wala siyang hospital. And then also, talagang potentially siya ang tatamaan talaga pagka mayroong nagkaroon ng surge. Yun ang binibigyan natin. Ang natin talaga, ang gusto ng presidente natin na magkaroon tayo ng tinatawag na fair and square, equitable distribution. Meron tayong pinagbibigyan na mas prioritize siya because of the tinatawag nating health risk at saka yung economic risk and also social risk. Yun ang natin. Ang nakita natin dito, Yung ginagawa namin, no, yung wala tayong pinapaboran, wala tayong binibigyan ng way, at nakikita natin karamihan sa iba, kaya binibigyan natin yung highly urbanized center is one. Doon din nagsisimula ang hawahan. Doon sa urbanized center. Yun ang naglumilipat. For example, ang Manila, yun din ang nagkakalat sa ibang lugar sa Region 3 and Region 4A. Ganon din ang Cagayan de Oro. Kung ang Cagayan de Oro maprotektahan natin, mapoprotektahan din natin yung mga ibang area.
Okay po. Tanong po sir, mga sir, galing po kay Sir Oriel Kilingging ng Mindanao Gold Star Daily News para kay Secretary Duque. Ano po ang inaasahan ninyong mangyari sa Cagayan de Oro City at Hingoog City pagkatapos ng 2 linggong pagpapatupad ng Enhanced Community Quarantine?
Maraming salamat. Ano? Yung gaya na nabanggit kanina ni Mayor Eric ng Hingoog City, mukhang at ang CDO, yung response has been quite effective. And I am confident that they will be able to contain the potential surge of COVID cases, not only due to Delta variant, but as I have also indicated earlier, we also have the Alpha and the Beta variants in circulation. So I think the way to address this will have to be holistic through the PDITR plus strategy. And everybody here knows how to do the PDITR strategy, and I don't want to go into each one of them anymore. So we expect for Hingoog to keep their cases low and manageable, as well as for CDO, so that if they're able to effectively implement the PDITR, I'm confident they can keep their cases low so as not to overwhelm their health system's capacity. After a while, after all, it is very important that you manage the cases, you, as much as possible, spread over a much longer period of time your cases so that they will not overwhelm the health system's capacity.
Daghang salamat, sir. Another question po galing kay Sir Oriel Kilingging. Tanong po para kay Secretary Galvez, ang Hingoog City at Cagayan de Oro City na nasa ECQ hanggang Hulyo 31 ay parehong nasa loob ng Misamis Oriental. Maliban sa mga kaso ng COVID-19, marami sa provincial residents ang nagtatrabaho sa Cagayan de Oro at Hingoog City. Ang 6 na nahawaan ng COVID-19 Delta variant ay posibleng may mga kamag-anak din sa lalawigan at ito ay makikita sa contact tracing. Bakit raw po hindi na lang isinama ang Misamis Oriental sa Enhanced Community Quarantine?
Yung policy nga natin na dapat calibrated yung ating pag-declare ng ECQ, is that nakita natin maganda yung response ng Hingoog at saka Cagayan. Nakita natin na na-contain siya. Kung bubuuin mo kasi yung buong probinsya, may mga areas na hindi siya affected and even yung cases niya napakababa. Kung ibibigay natin ng buong probinsya magkaroon ng MECQ, ang laki ng problema natin. Lalong maraming hindi makapagtatrabaho, at the same time, maraming magugutom. So ang ginagawa natin granular. So at most is city lang. And then sa sa employment naman ni City Mayor, iga-granular din niya rin yan Ganun din ang gagawin din ni Sir Eric. So, natin is as much possible, i-minimize natin yung economic risk. Kasi pagka once na, ang damage niya napakataas.
Okay po.
Containment last year and marami na nga. Pero yun nga, wala namang problema. And under the rules, kailangan lang i-concur ng RIATF. No? So we have been doing that actually.
Thank you for that,
Ma'am,
Mayor.
additional lang po.
Yes po,
This is
Mayor.
with regard po yung sa granular lockdown. We also implemented that sa Hingoog. But I would just like to ask Secretary Galvez if we can make some adjustments po. Like for example, kasi ang Hingoog City po ngayon is the entire city po yung ginawa. Is it okay po?
Actually, ang ginagawa nga namin na SND at saka ni Secretary Anyo, you know best what is good for your
Okay.
constituents.
Thank you
Kayo
po.
nakakaalam. So, you can tweak yung kahit na ECQ siya, tingnan natin kung paano how you will survive yung
Okay.
by letting the other areas na makagalaw so that your economic factor will not be affected so much.
Yes po.
So, gagawin natin yun, isang pinaka-main mo naman yung sinasabi ko nga, ang pinaka-main objective mo, ibaba mo ng 5% yung
Okay.
active cases mo. And then later on, kailangan ng new cases mo is magiging single digit na lang siya.
Okay. Salamat po, Sec.
Thank you for that, Mayor. And tanong po galing kay Ms. Cheryl Calyaga from JAW TV to Secretary Galvez, is enhanced community quarantine negotiable? Are local government units still given the right for regulations forfeiting the purpose of ECQ paralyzing movement? In Cagayan de Oro City, transportation is still allowed.
Yung ano natin nga, yung sa MECQ tsaka ECQ, talagang yung sinasabi nga ni Mayor, I'm very, very happy nga kay Mayor dahil kasi talagang yung word niya, ginagamit nga namin yun, abundance of caution. Ang importante doon, kaya kung magkasa natin, pagka ECQ kasi, may kaagad, merong tinatawag na precautionary measure yan sa mental mind ng tao eh. But you can implement more or less, baka tinatawag natin yung medyo flexible in a way na parang MECQ yung implementation so that we can also work na makita natin hindi naman mako-compromise yung tinatawag nating yung health risk natin. So ang nakikita natin kanya-kanyang kanya-kanyang implementation basta ang kasi tinatawag natin yan sa rules meron tayong restrictive at saka yung permissive. Kung saan medyo permissive ka na nakita mo mas malaki ang gains, mas malaki ang benefits. Gawan mo na yan. Kung kasano kasi sa system, meron kang high and low, meron kang high restrictive, at saka meron kang tinatawag na permissive. So pagka ikaw isang executive nakikita mo kung saan mo ilalagay ang isang lugar. Yung talagang nakitang super spreader at saka super spreader event, doon ka mag-restrict. Pero yung malaki ang economic gains, pero maliit ang risk niya, medyo bitawan mo ng konti. And then later on, pagka nakita mo na walang epekto, hayaan mo siya, tatawag natin nga siya, sabi nga ng WHO, na dahan-dahan mo siya you open up phase by phase, little by little, at saka gradual. So ganun ang technique natin. Natuto na tayo dyan 1 year na tayo. Alam na ng mga LGUs kung paano siya i-implement. So at the national level, guidance lang sa amin. Pero implementation, sa LGU yan.
Yes po. Dagdag po na tanong, sir, from Cheryl Calyaga.
Can I
Yes,
just very
yes, sir.
quickly just emphasize the importance of yung sa granular lockdown ninyo,
Mhm.
aggressive contact tracing,
Yes.
and isolate immediately, quarantine immediately. That's the way you cut the chain of transmission. Because if you don't do that, if you keep delaying your testing, your isolation, in fact, let me tell you this, the Barangay Health Emergency Response Teams should be very mindful that if a place has been identified as being the source of infection with COVID, they should zero in very quickly and put in place the massive, aggressive contact tracing, isolation, and really, this will ensure that you will cut down your cases. Kasi you have to keep them. Kasi kung hindi, iikot-ikot yan. And mga hawa talaga yan. Okay? So, yung contact tracing is very important and rapid, aggressive isolation, quarantine.
Thank you for that, Secretary. Another question po for Secretary Galvez. Why can't we open vaccination to all categories? Delta variant is here in Cagayan de Oro and risking the infection spreading will wildfire will happen. Are we not worried that what happened to Indonesia can also happen here if we will not reach the herd immunity fast?
As we have said earlier, ang natin dapat focus and expanded ang ating vaccination. We focus on the most vulnerable at saka tinatawag nating yung burden of death at saka burden of hospitalization. There is no problem na magkaroon tayo ng massive vaccination if the supply is plenty. But if there is a limited supply, we need to focus doon sa mga essential sector at saka geographical areas. As I have said earlier, meron tayong tinatawag na priority sector at saka priority areas. Dalawa yan. So kung makuha mo yun, yung 20% of your problem is already solved. Meaning yung pagka nakuha mo yung 20% na yun, 80% of your problem is already been solved. Meaning ibig sabihin, checkmate na yung critical utilization na capacity natin. Checkmate na rin yung debt. So yun ang parang kung magkasano ka sa strategy, hindi ka pwedeng shotgun yung massive na sinasabi. Sa testing din, dapat expanded tayo. Doon muna tayo sa first contact, second contact, at saka yung mga tinatawag nating vulnerable.
Thank you po. Question from Menzi Montes from IFM to Secretary Duque. Totoo po ba na fully recovered na yung 6 na patient ng Delta variant in Cagayan de Oro and Hingoog City? If yes po, need po ba ang nai-under pa ng enhanced community quarantine ang Cagayan de Oro at Hingoog City? Secretary.
I would like to defer to Director Lacuna because he knows the latest feedback on these cases.
Yes.
Director Lacuna.
According to the report kanina, they are recovered. Pero that doesn't mean that we will immediately lift the ECQ because there is a period within which we have to close contact tracing, if only to assure everyone that within a 2 weeks period, these have been identified, quarantined appropriately if necessary, and if there is a need for retesting, we will do it, but not at this time po. That is why the ECQ is designed for at least 15 days so that we will determine whatever measures we either de-escalate or even go further if necessary. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Regional Director. Question po kay Secretary Galvez, nang dahil sa Delta variant, nag-enhance community quarantine ang Cagayan de Oro at Hingoog City. Mako-consider po ba daw yung ating mga LGU as priority po para sa ating vaccines?
Yes, actually, yun nga, naging natin, nag-reallocate tayo. Kaya nga yung Region 10, magiging priority natin yun sa July tsaka sa August and even September. Kaya nga nag-uusap na nga kami ni Mayor Eric na kung kaya 2,000 a day, susuportahan namin siya. Ganun din kay Mayor tsaka sa lahat ng ating mga LGUs kung ano yung tinatawag nating capacity natin, we will support that so that we can have immediate protection as soon as possible time. Kasi this is a race against time. And we wanted that while the Delta variant is also mutating, we are now vaccinating the vulnerable. Kaya nga dineploy namin dito ang J&J. Kasi ang J&J, at least after 20 days, at least meron tayong natawag na protection na kasi one shot lang siya.
Yes po, Secretary.
Balikan ko lang yung kaninang tanong. Yung 2 weeks na ECQ, kasi ang utos natin, ang ITF, DOH directive, is not just to do first a close contact tracing. No? You do back tracing. Okay? So, talagang, this will take some time to really cover all those who were exposed in their respective communities and workplaces.
Thank you, Secretary Duque. And now we have a question for Secretary Anyo. Sir, ilan at sino po ang mga barangay officials sa bansa ang hindi nakapagtupad ng ating minimum public health standards?
Magandang hapon. First of all, dito muna sa Region 10, and Hingoog and Cagayan de Oro City. So far, wala tayong na-monitor dito na mga barangay na hindi nag-implement ng minimum public health standards. So, that is actually commendable to our LGUs, to Mayor Moreno and Mayor Cañosa, no? So, wala tayong complaint din na tanggap against our barangay officials dito. And in nationwide, we have 6 cases involving 8 barangay captains ang iniimbestigahan natin. Ang 2 dito ay na under preventive suspension na. And they are in the areas of NCR, Region 3, and Region 4A, and 1 also in Region 1. But nevertheless, nagpalabas tayo ng memo circular 2021-58. Ang subject ay intensifying regulation and prohibition of holding of activities as sources of virus super spreaders. At kung merong hindi makapagpatupad nito, kasama rin natin pwedeng kasuhan ang mga barangay officials. So, mean to say, we're really very serious in implementing this memo circular in order to prevent transmission, particularly in those super spreader events.
Thank you po. A question po from Mercedes Gualberto of DXIM Radio Pilipinas, Cagayan de Oro. For Secretary Duque, some sources say that the local transmission of Delta variants in the country is underreported due to lack of genome surveillance studies, particularly in hotspots including or outside of National Capital Region or NCR. Can you please give your comment on this?
To a certain extent, tama po yan. Kasi limited pa rin yung capacity ng Philippine Genome Center to do whole genome sequencing. And that is why, this is why we have been saying that it is best to assume that there's already local transmission. Okay? So we don't need to wait. But it's enough to see that the evidence of its presence here and not necessarily linkable to an international traveler is already a sign of a possible local transmission. But of course, it will be much better if the results of the genomic sequencing of those who have been identified in the contact tracing and back tracing of those who were exposed to these identified positive Delta variant cases, the results will come out as soon as possible. Pero kasi talagang the Philippine Genome Center, I believe, can only do a run of 700 each time. Okay? So we'll have to see once the region submits the additional RT-PCR positive specimen, no? Then they can already detect again if there is indeed a local spread of Delta variant.
Thank you, Secretary.
Yeah,
Another
excuse
question
me.
po. Yes po.
On the part of the region, as we see some clustering of cases,
Yes, RD.
that will prompt us to send samples of that to the central office for genome testing. Especially that we found out now on our experience. Tingnan natin, biglang tumaas yung cases. And then it's verified objectively now by a genome result. That's why we have reasons to believe that any area with rising cases should be a suspect cases, and we do not need for a definitive diagnosis, but we can do actual activities designed to control any upsurge of cases po.
Thank you, RD. Another question po to Secretary Galvez from Nef Logson of Philippine News Agency. Other local government units have higher daily COVID cases and high healthcare utilization rates. But the classification is General Community Quarantine or GCQ only. And yet, CDO po and Hingoog, even if there are already reduction in daily rates, got enhanced community quarantine. So the wisdom of IATF here is that if there's a Delta variant detected, even if it is only one, should it be classified under ECQ or Enhanced Community Quarantine?
IATF is guided by our technical advisory group of experts. No, the IATF does not decide on its own. It has the benefit of our panel of experts who continues to provide the latest data, information, and the response that is required to stem the tide of a threat of Delta variant. And as I have indicated earlier, the Delta variant can give rise to an exponential and uncontrollable spread of COVID cases, and therefore overwhelming your health system's capacity.
Thank you po. Another question po, is the coming of the code team or the IATF here targets to make sure that there will be no more close contacts or infected individuals of the said variant? Because when DOH reported there's Delta variant in Cagayan de Oro, it took some time and patients were already recovered or have already recovered.
That is why it is prescribed by the code team, the coordinated operations to defeat the epidemic, and led by our regional CHD in coordination with DILG, the local NTF, no, is precisely to establish, if any, the possible spread of COVID-19 Delta variant. Okay, so that is precisely what is being done now through the code team, and that has been activated, no, to ensure that we will be able to put this in check before it gets out of hand.
Thank you po. Another question po from Lawrence Heralde of Bombo Radio Philippines to Secretary Duque. May news blackout po ba na nangyari? Because bakit po nung July 16 lang natin ipinaalam sa mga tao na may detected Delta variant na pala dito sa Cagayan de Oro City at Hingoog City noong June 28?
This is largely because Thursday last week was the only time when the Philippine Genome Center reported the 16 COVID-19 variants, Delta variants. No, that was Thursday. In fact, we had an emergency meeting. Our chair of the National Task Force, myself, the vice chair, and also the chief implementer, together with the all-expert group of the DOH and the IATF.
Thank you po. The same question po rin ni Sir Urcel Maandig. Another question po, Secretary Duque, sa pinaigting na contact tracing, paano nakapasok ang Delta variant sa bansa? May ipapatupad ba tayong bagong protocol sa pagtanggap ng mga returning overseas Filipinos mula Indonesia, lalo na po ang ating mga seafarers?
We have a four-door strategy in combating the variants of concern or variants of interest. The number one, door one, is imposing travel restrictions. And you know, we have done that to India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, and we in fact, very as of late, included Indonesia. And we're contemplating on doing the same on Malaysia and Thailand. But again, this depends on the recommendation of our experts. And then number two, even if we know there are already 111 countries that have reported the Delta variants, we have intensified our border control. And we have also strictly implemented our 14-day quarantine protocol. That's on the 7th day, 10 days 10 days quarantine and completion of the remaining 4 days in the LGU of residence. So, ginagawa natin yan. Doors 1, ito doors 2, door 2, and then the PDITR door 3, and then door 4 is preparations for surge capacity.
Thank you po. Question po to Secretary Anyo. Ano po ang paghahanda ng gobyerno para sa posibleng Delta variant surge sa bansa?
First of all, yung ating National Action Plan fighting against COVID-19, basically employing the PDITR strategy remains the same. Ang kailangan lang dito ay talagang i-implement natin ito properly, and the LGUs would be the lead, particularly our local chief executives. Napakaiba with the Delta variant, alam natin na mas mabilis ang transmission dito. So dapat dito, magpo-focus tayo ng resources dito, and the national government, the national agencies will, through the employment of code teams, will make sure na mayroong code teams sa pupunta sa mga areas. And at the same time, sa rollout na ating vaccines, kasama na siya i-consider mas maraming vaccine ang i-employ dito katulad ng sinabi ni Secretary Charlie Calves, kasi kasama na yan sa ating mga interventions. No? So, we are really doing good in our PDITR strategy. But this time, dahil mas mabilis ang Delta variant, dapat mas mabilis din ang kilos natin dito.
Thank you po. Another question po coming from Ms. Tata Rojas of MBC Ozamis Misamis Occidental. As a media practitioner po, nakahanay po kami sa A4 priority group. And every day, we are facing a lot of people. Gusto na sana naming mabakunahan, kaya lang po, wala pa po ang schedule namin. Matanong ko lang po kung kailan po kami pwedeng mabakunahan. Sa Misamis Occidental po.
Nakita natin yung high-risk groups. Pwede na natin bakunahan yan. Sa nakita natin, nakalagay naman sa policy, if the vaccine is aplenty in a region or in an area, na kaya niyang bakunahan yung priority group at the same time yung A4, pwede na yun. Sa ngayon, nakita natin yung nakalagay doon sa, sa policy. Kung ang area is considered as surge area, pwede na tayo magbakuna ng A4.
Okay po. Dagdag po na tanong, are we on target in achieving the 70% herd immunity?
With the coming of the vaccine, sa ngayon, natutuwa po kami kasi last week, na-break natin ang record na 7 million vaccine ang dumating in 3 days time. So, nakikita namin pagka once na tuloy-tuloy na yung pag-deliver ng vaccine sa atin, we can see na kaya natin yung tinatawag natin population protection first and then yung herd immunity. Nakikita namin na pagka once na nakuha natin, lalo na sa Cagayan de Oro, in-explain ko kanina, na kung makuha nila yung 5,000 a day, kaya nila by October, by November, makukuha nila yung target na 70%.
Yes po. Katanungan po for Secretary Lorenzana, ano po ba ang talagang totoong dahilan sa pagbagsak ng C-130 plane sa Sulu? Karamihan sa mga pasahero nun po ay baguhang sundalo na nanggaling po sa pamilyang mahihirap. Ano po ba ang benepisyong makukuha nila?
Unang-una, kami nalulungkot doon sa pagbagsak ng C-130 kasi yung mga pasahero na galing dito sa Lagindingan, yung mga taong lumilipat ng unit from 4th Division to 1st Division to 11th Division. Kasama din doon yung kalahati ng pasahero na bagong sundalo na ma-assign sa 11th Division sa Hulo. Ngayon, maraming haka-haka kung bakit bumagsak yun, pero hindi yun cannot prove kasi hindi naman tayo eksperto. Ngayon, yung meron diyang dalawang gadget dyan sa aeroplano, ang tinatawag nilang flight data recorder at saka yung cockpit voice recorder. Yung box na yon, pinadala natin doon sa gumawa ng aeroplano sa Lockheed sa US para i-analyze nila yung ano nangyari. Until that time na dumating yon, di natin masasabi kung ano talaga ang nangyari. May nagsasabing pilot's error, may nagsasabing engine failure, nagsasabing weather. Pero yon ay haka-haka lamang. Hindi pa natin we cannot conclusively say that those are the reasons for the crash. At ang matatanggap nilang naman nila, may matatanggap sila sa Philippine Army na at saka galing kay presidente yung under the comprehensive social benefit program ng presidente. From the ILG, nag-provide din sila ng immediate assistance na 8,000 per person. Marami na rin mga civilian donors na nag-donate. Yung mga matagal na sa serbisyo, yung nakapag-serbisyo na lang mga 20 years and above, magkakaroon sila ng pension, yung mga families. Yun na mga bago lang, meron din silang wala pang pension diyan, pero magkakaroon din ng financial benefits yung mga pamilya.
Thank you po. Yes po, Mayor.
At saka scholarship ng mga anak nila, scholarships.
Okay po. Yung mic po.
Nag-allocate kami sa city ng 50,000 per casualty.
Okay. Thank you po, Mayor. Another question po from Steph Berganio of Northern Mindanao Daily Source to Secretary Duque. Paano niyo po mai-improve yung tinatawag na genome analysis or genome sequencing given na isang center lang ang nasa Pilipinas? Operational na po ba yung satellite facilities ng Philippine Genome Center sa Visayas at Mindanao?
Currently, meron expansion plan ang Philippine Genome Center, and the DOH has been supporting them. And in fact, I have requested for them to submit to the DOH so that the budgetary requirement can be incorporated in the General Appropriations Act for 2022. So in terms of the work of the PGC, we acknowledge the importance of the PGC in terms of biosurveillance. And I think they have been quite successful in helping us detect early enough the variants of concerns. When we had them do the biosurveillance and whole genome sequencing, we identified immediately last January the alpha variant, followed by the beta variant, followed by the theta, the P3, the gamma, and now the delta variant. So I would like to thank them because of the dedicated work, the quality of output, and thus guiding us to respond in more effective ways in the COVID pandemic era. Thank you.
Thank you po. Another question po, ano po ang response ninyo sa letter o sulat ni Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez na nag-request po siya ng team to combat the Delta variant in CDO?
Napag-usapan namin without or with the letter. Talagang pupunta kami dito kasi talagang we are mandated by the President na sabi nga niya puntahan lahat ng measures. So immaterial po yung but we convey our support to Rufus. But mandated po talaga kami na puntahan kayo. Saka talagang hindi na po kayo pababayaan kasi 3 po kami na-assign dito po sa Cagayan de Oro.
Thank you po. Question po another po kay Secretary Galvez. Na-question na po kanina itong pagpa-prioritize po ng ating vaccine. So another question po from Urselma Andig from Radyo Abante. Posible po ba na may iba pang bakuna na i-manufacture for Delta variant since this kind of virus ay nakaka-infect din ng COVID-19 even if we are already vaccinated with the second dose?
The effects that we all want to happen once we are fully vaccinated, hindi pwedeng vaccinated once lang. Dapat you have to complete it, no? Is that will help prevent severe and critical COVID infection. It will prevent hospitalization, and it will prevent deaths. So having said that, it is important that the current portfolio of vaccines that the national government is implementing, all of these have been proven to be effective in bringing about those 3 events or preventing those 3 occurrences. No? So that's what it is. They're all effective. They're okay. Whether the new variants will prove to be reducing the effect in terms of protecting from these variants, that is the work of our scientists, no?
Okay.
The vaccine manufacturing companies and their scientists to study how else they can tweak the COVID vaccines to be effective against the evolving variants. So tuloy-tuloy po yung pag-aaral nila.
Thank you po. Yes po, Secretary.
In addition, kami yung talagang yung mga ibang manufacturer talagang nagpe-present sa amin. And sabi nga nila, this is a race against time. Yung Johnson & Johnson, kaya nila namin dito yan, actually yung testing yan is a variant. South African variant, UK variant, tsaka yung Brazilian variant. Yung J&J is considered as a second generation vaccine, and also yung Novavax, kaya nahuli yung Novavax. But ang sinasabi nga ng WHO na nakita natin yung lahat ng vaccine natin, very effective, basta naka-second dose. Kaya nga kami, we are pushing regional director tsaka po lahat ng po natin mga health officers. We have to push for talagang yung double dose. Kasi yung risk of hospitalization at saka po yung death, talagang completely kaya-kaya niyang i-minimize. Sinasabi sa pag-aaral ng sinabi na ng presentation na ni FDA, si Eric Domingo, Sir Eric Domingo, pinresent niya kay Presidente last week, na kayang-kaya ng existing vaccine natin, yung mga variant. At saka sinasabi nga ng WHO, sa ngayon, hindi pa natin kailangan pa ng booster because the existing vaccine is still effective and safe against the variant.
Thank you po. Question po from Miss Angie Alzado of Magnum Radio to Secretary Duque. Dahil po sa mabagal na results po ng genome sequencing sa Delta variant, ano po ang komento nyo sa pagkabahala ngayon ni Vice President Leni Robredo at ng mga eksperto na baka marami pa ang mga Delta infected na undetected?
Ang sagot po natin dyan ay pinapaigting natin ang Philippine Genome Center Biosurveillance and whole genome sequencing. Pero ang sagot pa rin dyan ay yung tamang implementation ng PDITR. So ang dami na tayong variants, no, na nakita, yung alpha at beta, but we were able to manage the situation. If you recall, in March, April, na nagkaroon tayo ng spike because of the alpha and beta variants predominantly, we were able to successfully bring down the number of cases. And in fact, it's now plateauing. And you look at NCR, we've brought down close to our pre-surge level of 400, ngayon as 600 cases per day. Okay? Dati from 3,000 yan. No, from 5,000 yan ang NCR. Now it's down to about 600 a day. Okay? And it's hopefully going to go down some more to the pre-surge level of about 450. So PDITR, minimum public health standards, and the good thing about this is that we have an added arsenal, which is the vaccination, which we never had during the surge of last year and beginning surge of this year.
Okay po. Your comment daw po sa pahayag ng Octa Research na posibleng mas malala ang expected surge sa August and September dahil sa Delta variant. What aggressive measures po ang ipatutupad with this variant?
Ito lang kasama yung pagtatalaga natin ng higher community quarantine, ECQ, MECQ, to be able to more effectively contain the spread of whatever variants, no, whether it's alpha, beta, or delta variant. The same interventions or strategy applies, no? So yun lang, pagka sinabi nilang baka magkaroon tayo ng surge ng August or September, October, we will that's why it's a race. It's a race against all these variants, no? That is why we have to intensify our PDITR plus vaccination strategy. Hopefully, that scenario will not happen. And we all need to work together. The whole country must move forward in ensuring that such interventions are deftly, effectively implemented. So we can get the desired outcome of controlling the spread of this virus. And hopefully we remain at the Philippines now, by the way, is at a low risk classification. But there are select areas with varying risk classifications, no? And CDO and Hingmuog are two examples which are under the ECQ classification.
Okay, dagdag po na tanong to Secretary Duque or Secretary Galvez. Ayon kay Vice President Leni Robredo, mas mabuti na ang i-allocate at gamiting bakuna sa mga lugar na may Delta variant ang Johnson & Johnson's vaccine. Ano po ang inyong komento sa kanyang pahayag?
Ito nga po, ginagawa po natin yan kasi nag-usap pa kami ng actually yung deployment ng Johnson & Johnson's, pinag-usapan namin yan collectively ng IATF and also with the advice of Dr. Rabi at saka Dr. Oyen yung sa UNICEF. Si Dr. Oyen, pumunta siya sa mga ibang mga lugar na nakita natin na talagang tawag natin GDAS, yung geographical isolated. Saan maganda ang Johnson & Johnson's? Nakita na namin yan sa IATF, tsaka yung sa advisor namin ng mga expert, mga doktor na expert. Nasabi na sa amin yan, unang-una, napakahirap ng deployment sa mga islands. So kailangan ng Johnson & Johnson, dalhin natin yan sa Tawi-Tawi, sa Sulu, at saka sa Basilan, at saka doon sa areas na talagang merong surge, at saka yung marami ang A2 at A3 pa natitira. So kung makita mo yung listahan namin dito sa yung what is the ratio that we have given sa mga regions. Kung mas maraming A1, A2 at saka A3 doon sa region na yon, yun ang bubuhusan namin ng Johnson & Johnson. Kasi yung mga matatanda, ayaw na nilang bumalik. At saka kung pagka nakita lang one shot lang yan, okay na yan sa atin. Kasi ayaw nila na paulit-ulit eh. So hindi lang pwede na doon lang natin dadalhin siya sa may surge na may delta dahil kasi kung gagawin natin yan, madideprive din natin yung ibang tao na talagang nangangailangan din. Lalo na yung A2 at saka yung A3. At saka yung Tawi-Tawi. Bakit Tawi-Tawi? Unang-una, sila ang most vulnerable. Unang-una, sila malapit sa Malaysia at saka sa Indonesia. Gensan, bakit? Meron tayong meron tayong agreement sa Indonesia na cross-border. Very free kasi yung sa Gensan, nandiyan yung kamag-anak ng mga Indonesian, diyan na umuwi. So binebenta nila sa Manado yung mga isda. So ngayon pagka once na hindi mo sila na-vaccinate, yan ang magkukuha natin magiging vulnerable tayo. So the possible incursion of Delta might be in Gensan or Tawi-Tawi. So yun ang gagawin natin, tingnan natin yung tinatawag nating situational priority and also geographic and sectoral priorities.
Okay po. Dagdag po na tanong, may dagdag po ba na pondo sa mga ospital sa rehiyon sa gagawing paghahanda sa posibleng pagtaas ng kaso sa COVID-19 dahil sa na-detect po na Delta variant?
At tuloy-tuloy naman po ang suportang ibinibigay ng DOH Central sa ating po mga regional operations. No? So kasama din po dyan ang mga hospitals, bahagi ng ating intensified PDI-TR strategy under the treatment pillar. So sa treatment pillar, kasama dyan yung mga gamot, remdesivir, tocilizumab, yung Avigan, yung dexamethasone, and continuing supply of mechanical ventilators, oxygen concentrators, high-flow nasal cannulas, and oxygen tanks. No? So by the way, I'd like to remind the various LGUs of Region 10 to take a stock inventory of your oxygen tank supply. No? Napakamahalaga po yan. So Mayor Eric and Mayor Okang, the oxygen tank inventory, it will be good that you are able to monitor the supply level. Thank you.
Yes po.
Pwede lang ako magdagdag kasi sa ngayon nakita natin kailangan talaga mag-prepare tayo sa Delta. Ang pinaka talagang natin is one, mag-hire din tayo ng medical frontliners. Kasi pagka nag-massive vaccination tayo, kailangan hindi rin na ma-compromise yung treatment. So kailangan may hiring po, Mayor. Mayor Eric, kailangan mag-hire ka rin ng kasi pagka nag-akyat yung nag-akyat yung ating cases, so pera buyag lang. Ang lang natin is akyat din natin yung ating yung vaccination. So in doing that, kailangan hindi siya mapapagod siya pagka at saka mangyayari pagka nagano siya ng cases, mahahawa yung binabaccinate mo kasi tutusin natin yung vaccination event, magkakaroon spreader event yan kasi there is close contact. Pangalawa, yung treatment medicine, sinasabi nga ni Sec Duque, yung tocilizumab, magano tayo sa mga hospital kasi compassionate use sir, kaya pwede lang makabili niyan ng hospital. And then also yung mga treatment talagang mag-stockpile na tayo. And then i-inventory natin yung mga facility. Yung mga hospital dito mga level 3, kailangan pagpagawa na tayo ng modular hospitals na ginawa katulad ng QI. Napakalaki ng tulong. Yung ginawa rin sa NKTI, at saka doon sa lung center, napakalaki ng tulong doon sa Metro Manila nung nagkaroon sila ng surge. And then palakasin natin yung T3, yung test trace at saka yung yung treat and isolate capacity natin in scale in scale. In scale kasi pagka nag-scale tayo ibig sabihin ano natin yon. Yung sinasabi nga na yung oxygen, both yung high flow cannula mag-invest na tayo ngayon kasi yan ang tinatawag nilang yung magic oxygen na napakalaki ng tulong. Si Jerry Macasero nabuhay diyan sa sa high flow. And then also yung prevention sinasabi ni Secretary Anyo, pagka yung 20% effort nyo sa prevention, 80% solve ang problema natin. Yun lang po ang na ito po yung talagang preparation na po natin. Lahat po na yung mga checklist. Yan po natin.
Sir, meron lang po akong question.
Yes, Mayor.
Sir, as regards po yung sa modular na mga ICU po, mga ICU beds na ginagawa. Kasi sa Hingoog City po kasi wala po kaming ICU. But the local government unit of Hingoog, we initiated to purchase heated high flow oxygen concentrator. Kasi wala po kami doon. So, after our request, pwede po ba yun na doon siya gagawin sa provincial hospital namin? Yung sa mga ICUs po. Kasi wala po kasing ICU ang
Pwede
Hingoog.
naman po yun na Mayor, basta yung technical assistance manggagaling sa Department of Health. Why don't you elaborate?
Sige. We'll refer that to Dr. Chan in sa Northern Mindanao Medical Center. It is my understanding that you don't need an ICU to operate the high oxygen flow outflow machine. So in fact, it is a study being undertaken is that if this can be given at earliest possible time, it will prevent the patient to go into intensive phase. So that's why I raised my hand kanina, sir. When you say high flow oxygen machine, we need that here.
Yes, sir. Maybe you can support that also. Considering ng Hingoog City po kasi, wala po tayong ICU doon. So lahat po ng mga patients na yung mga low na mga oxygen saturation, pagbaba po niya ng 95%. So yes, automatic na naming lagyan na ng high flow. Okay po. Yes po. Yes po. But again, our referral hospital would be NMMC, yung sa Northern Mindanao Medical Center. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Mas-
Yes, Mayor
Mas
Moreno.
mura ang high flow sa mechanical ventilator. Kaya willing nga tayo, nilagay ko sa NMMC. High flow. Oh. At bumili tayo siguro mga 15 na. 25 high flow binili ng city.
Thank you nga pala Mayor kasi napahiram niyo yung yung Bukidnon. Maraming na-save tayo doon. Yung dineploy niya noon yung high flow doon sa Bukidnon na hiniram namin sa MNC. Maraming naitulungan yun Mayor.
I'm Dr. Chan from NMMC. Yes, yes, sir, we lend our high flow to Malaybalay in Bukidnon. Tari Galvez. Galvez. Then we have high flow in NMMC. We're willing to train your pulmo or respiratory therapist or nurse in charge of the machine. We can train them through FaceTime or virtual, or if they prefer to a face-to-face demo or orientation with us. Yes.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much, Doc. Tanong po para po sa DSWD kasi wala po si spokes Harry Roque. Meron na po bang sagot si President Rodrigo Duterte sa sulat ni Deputy Speaker Rufus Rodriguez na naglalayong makonsidera sana ng Pangulo na mabigyan ang mga residente under enhanced community quarantine ng financial assistance? Feasible pa po ba ito?
Magandang hapon po sa lahat. To the Honorable Secretaries, good afternoon po. Para po sa tanong yan, ma'am, sa ngayon po ay wala pa pong sagot na nakarating sa field office na ito. But the swift action of our Secretary Rolly Bautista, he already directed me to coordinate closely to the two local government unit or the two chief executives. So immediately after we were we were classified as ECQ, I was able to talk to the good mayors, the Honorable Mayor Moreno, and of course, the Honorable Eric Cañosa. At dun po, as a rejoinder, yes, kami din po ay we are proposing to provide financial assistance and all other assistance for areas under ECQ. Yun nga lang po, ito ay may proseso. We just cannot ask something from the palace or from our president without any documents. So, if I'm not mistaken, last Saturday, I already coordinated with the chiefs to provide us profiles, provide us figures. So, with those attachments, we will include it in our proposal and send it to our central office, send it to our secretary, and by that, hopefully, we are praying that our financial managers, from Department of Finance and Department of Budget can provide an allocation. At ako'y malalim po ang paniwala ko dahil sa mandato ng ating presidente na bibigyan kaagad ng immediate aid to the families who are really affected. Yun nga po, malaki po ang aking paniwala na matutuganan niya po itong hangyo ng ating mga opisyales, mapag-kongreso man, or ating mga mayor.
Daghang salamat, Director. Isang tanong po galing kay Mars Downey Ben Medina ng DXIM Radyo Pilipinas, Cagayan de Oro.
Excuse me, bago
Yes po.
sabi ganyan lang. Pwede bang last question na yan? Kasi lipat pa kami ng Davao eh. May meeting
Okay.
kami ng Presidente. Oh.
Sige po. To Secretary Duque po, gaano po raw kahanda ang ating healthcare system sa ating bansa kung sakaling tumaas ang kaso ng Delta variant? At kinukonsidera daw po ba ng DOH ang booster para sa ating mga healthcare workers, lalo na ngayon na may Delta variant sa ating bansa?
Yung national healthcare systems capacity, adequate tayo. In fact, as a safe zone tayo sa ngayon. Dahil nga, as a country, we are under low-risk classification. It is where in areas na may mga mataas na kaso, yun ang tinutulungan natin para mapalawig yung kanilang health systems capacity, lalo na ang ICU capacity. Yung booster doses, it is premature to even discuss that now because we don't have adequate supply for even our first and second doses yet, no? And there is no sufficient data to show as of now that booster doses are indeed needed. So wala pa yan. Nag-aantay pa tayo, pinag-aaralan pa po yan ng WHO at saka mga experts natin, yung vaccine expert panels natin. They're always looking for the best information available to introduce any change in our vaccination policy. But as of today, it's first and second, that's it for the meantime.
Pwedeng isa na lang po raw. When you said po na it's not necessary from abroad yung Delta variant, do you mean that it's possible that the variant mutated here po sa Philippines?
There is no evidence to show that the variant that we have detected is a mutation of Delta in the Philippines. There is no data to show nor to prove that. Okay. Now, it's coming from the different countries, already in 111 countries. But we know, in terms of their lineage, they really came from India. Kaya nga tinawag natin siya na Indian variant nung una. That's the B1617.2.
Thank you po. Daghang kayong salamat sa itong mga kauban sa coordinated operations to defeat epidemic ko natong FOLD team gikan sa National Task Force Against COVID-19. Daghan po kayong salamat sa itong mga kauban sa prensa nga nangutana sa ato ang mga kauban karon. Sa ngalan sa among Regional Director sa Philippine Information Agency Region 10, Franklin P. Gumapon, kini ang inyong alagad, Retchie Pakulba. Daghang salamat ug maayong adlaw kanatong tanan.